Free at last. I've traveled so long, carrying many things down on the inside. Although I gave God my life, the past I shamefully tried to hide, out of His sight, yet tucked deep in the back of my mind. But one day God sent a messenger with the tools I needed for change. I wanted to run. I felt a need to hide. Then He reminded me, to truly be free, I must first swallow my pride. Embrace this pressure. Pray firmly through the strain. Loose those secrets. Break the chains. He whispered, "My child, I heard your cries. I felt every pain. Now surrender that trauma. Release the shame. Walk tall. Smile bright. I have now given you the strength and the tools to conquer any fight."
The reason why I was pushed into this was because I was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune, and during that process I was paralyzed in my arms, and it got worse and worse and worse, and the doctors kept telling me it was anxiety and stress and stuff, and so I had to, at that moment, was threatening to kill myself if they didn't do something because it wasn't getting better.
There were a lot of things from my childhood that I haven't dealt with, and there were a lot of things in there that I needed healing from.
I had dealt with sexual addiction for 13 plus years. I started when I was 11, 12, and so really, really young. Just had such a curiosity and stumbled into it, and it completely destroyed my childhood, my teens and early 20s.
Eventually, when I got to the shame study, I dug deep down and realized things that I never realized had happened in my life. So when I say when I was younger and I went through some terrible times, I was sexually assaulted as a 6-year-old, and nothing really was done with that whole thing, but I also didn't know what that meant either. To combat that, all we did was move away. Since nothing came of it, honestly, I didn't even remember of it until I went through the shame study.
I went through an abortion when I was in my early 20s, and that one was a hard pill to swallow when I went through it. But the Lord really helped me through the study, and because in the past I was so ashamed of it and I was so traumatized by it that I never ever spoke about it again.
There is so much shame compiled on me from the trying to fix the addiction, trying to make this small little child to be pure and holy and perfect again. Through this study, I called things what they were. I didn't have to make excuses for them. I didn't have to safeguard them. I didn't have to do anything. I just told it as it was and how it happened from the eyes of an 11 or 12-year-old. Being able to do that was so powerful. Being able to do that, it broke chains off.
To combat all this pain and stuff, I was smoking marijuana, and I did that for a good 15 years, every single day of my life, even during the shame study. We had talked about it during the shame study at one point in time, and so I confessed that I was still doing it. And then eventually, shortly after that, I had prayed and said, take away whatever is keeping me from you. And so the Lord did that. So literally 2 weeks later, I was clean. And so I just one day quit and never looked back, and it didn't even bother me one single bit. And to say the least that I couldn't have done that on my own is a huge thing.
And being from, I knew of the Lord, but I didn't know about the relationship, and I didn't know about, like declaring and decreeing his promises and standing on his word. And this last 10 years, I mean, it's been a roller coaster ride, but it's been a great roller coaster ride. And initially, you might be a little apprehensive and be like me, like, how is this supposed to help? But oh my gosh, anybody that I talk to that I know, I personally tell them, if you get the opportunity, if you have the time, do it, because I mean, the Lord has done some amazing things.
And it's so much more profound than I even ever thought. I had never really experienced God's love, even though I was in a Christian home. I grew up in a biblically sound church. I didn't experience his love that really drew me to the relationship I have with him now. His sacrifice for us is the reason why I'm free, and is the reason that propels me back to him every time.